Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet this crossed spike stitch. And if you are looking for a robust crochet stitch with not a huge amount of stretch, there's a little bit of give there but not a huge amount, this stitch is for you. It's a beautiful crochet stitch. It's very easy to work once you get it set up. It's a 1 row repeat and this stitch again is tough. For the tutorial today, I'm going to be using a 5mm or an H8 crochet hook. This is the Clover Soft Touch crochet hook, as well as 100% cotton. This is the Pima Cotton by Lion brand, and links to these items can be found in the description of this video. Also down in the description, you'll find a direct link to the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. So thank you so much for joining me, and while you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around. This channel is updated every single week with free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials. Now our stitch today is worked in rows, so we're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. Now one thing to note before we get started is for your foundation chain, if you're starting from scratch, you're going to want to work a foundation chain that is quite long, quite much more longer than the project that you are working on. When you go to work these crossed stitches, it is going to shorten the look and the length of that foundation chain quite a bit. So work your foundation chain a little bit longer than what you're going to want for your project. For your foundation chain, you're going to need a multiple of 3 stitches plus 2. So today I'm simply going to chain 23 stitches. There's 21, which is my multiple of 3. And then 22 and 23 for the extra 2 stitches. You're then going to, for row 1, you're going to begin by working a single crochet into the second chain from your hook, then chain 2. Skip the next 2 stitches and single crochet into your next stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way across. Chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, and single crochet into your next stitch all the way across your foundation chain, and then you're going to finish off with a single crochet into your final stitch. I'm just going to keep going here all the way across. Chain 2, skip 2, single crochet. When you come all the way across, single crochet in that final stitch, you're then going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch, and turn your work. Now for row 2, we're going to begin working some of our crossed stitches. You're going to begin by skipping the first chain 2 space. So skip that first space. You're then going to double crochet into the next chain 2 space. So skip that first chain 2 space, into the next chain 2 space, double crochet. Chain 1. Now crossing over the previous double crochet, you're going to work another double crochet into the previous skipped chain 2. So yarn over, bring your hook just in front of your previous double crochet, insert your hook into that previous skipped chain 2 space, yarn over, grab a loop and pull it up, and then complete your double crochet stitch. That is your first crossed double crochet. Next, you're going to double crochet into the next chain 2 space. then chain 1, working over top of the double crochet just worked and into the previous chain 2 space, which is the same chain 2 space as your first cross double crochet. You're going to insert your hook and complete the next cross double crochet stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way across. Double crochet into the next chain 2 space, chain 1, working over your previous double crochet, insert your hook into the previous chain 2 space and work a double crochet stitch. Repeat this all the way across your work. When you come all the way across, you're going to simply finish off with a double crochet into that first stitch. You can then chain 3 and turn your work. Now for this row 3, this is going to be our repeat row. So we're going to continue working cross double crochet stitches, but this time we're going to be working them in the spaces between the 2 crossed double crochet stitches, but in the row below. So you're working under it. So you're going to start yarn over, you're going to skip that first space between the double crochet and the crossed double crochet stitch, and you're going to reach over into the next space between the next 2 stitches. Insert your hook there and work your first double crochet, chain 1, now reaching back into the first skipped space, and that's the space between your first double crochet stitch and your first cross stitch. Work another double crochet. You're going to repeat this all the way across. So work your first double crochet stitch by inserting it into this next space between the next 2 cross stitches. Chain 1, reach back and insert your hook in the previous space. So this is the same space as your previous cross double crochet, and work another double crochet stitch. Repeat this all the way across the row. I'm going to keep working. It looks a little bit scrunched up here, but once I'm finished, I'll just straighten it out a little bit for you. So all the way across your row, working double crochet stitches. When you're coming to the final crossed double crochet stitch, you're working that final stitch in between your chain 3 and the cross stitch, then chain 1 and then into the previous. You're going to finish off this row by working a double crochet just into the top of that turning chain. You're then going to chain 3 and turn your work. And as I mentioned, that is the repeat row. So for the rest of the pattern, you're simply going to repeat that row 3, working your crossed double crochet stitches in the spaces between the next 2 stitches. So all the way across, when you come to the end, you're working that final double crochet into the top of the chain 3, then chain 3, turn your work, and repeat. I'm just going to finish up this row just so you can gain a little bit of a better sense here of what the stitch looks like. You're just going to continue all the way across. It is a wonderful stitch. I could see it being used in your market bags. I think that's where I'd really like to try it, but also in your bags and many other, or in your blankets and that, and many other crochet stitch projects. So I'm just going to work my final double crochet here, pull it a little bit, and you can see the crossed stitches there coming right out. So thank you so much for joining me, and again, don't forget to subscribe if you happen to make something with this spiked crossed stitch. Feel free to tag Rich Textures Crochet. I do love to come by and admire it. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.